Hello and welcome to a time special presentation for Thirukkural with the Times, where we explore real-world lessons from the classic Tamil text Thirukkural with motivational speaker, author and diversity champion Bharathi Baskar as she explores the masterpiece. Thirukkural survives because it accepts the world as it is, not as it ought to be. Why did the Kural withstand time when so many moral treatises eroded? Maybe because Valluvar bridges the ideal and the real with remarkable honesty. Where life demands adjustment, he allows space. Not as a compromise born from weakness, but as a wisdom born from insight.
A few days ago, Tamil homes celebrated Pongal, a festival rooted in gratitude, earthiness and balance. It honors the sun, the soil and the quiet dignity of labour. The very next day, Thiruvalluvar Day followed, almost as if reminding us that celebration without reflection is incomplete. Few civilizations are blessed with a text that stands so close to daily life while reaching so far across time. The Thirukkural is one such rare gift, not merely a Tamil classic, but a universal scripture of lived wisdom. What makes the Kural universally appealing is not its moral ambition, but its moral practicality. Valluvar does not speak from mountaintops, he walks alongside human frailty. His ethics are not carved into stone tablets meant to intimidate but return like instructions for living, flexible, humane and grounded in reality. Across cultures, literature has produced lofty moral texts, yet many slowly fade into oblivion, into ceremonial relevance because they expect humans to become angels overnight. Morality that ignores context becomes museum-worthy, admired, quoted and quietly bypassed. The Kural survives because it accepts the world as it is, not as it ought to be. The far-reaching influence of Kural bears testimony to this strength. In 1908, Leo Tolstoy, replying in Russian to the editor of Free Hindustan, referred to the Thirukkural calling it the Hindu Kural and quoted 6 couplets from the chapter Not Harming Others. This letter later reached Mahatma Gandhi, who published it in Gujarati. Gandhi was especially moved by the couplet advocating benevolence in the place of revenge. That's Kural 314, where Valluvar says, punish a wrongdoer with the good gesture so he feels ashamed. Inna seidare oruttal avar naana nannayam seidu vidum. The line did not merely impress Gandhi, it reshaped him. He famously declared, I wanted to learn Tamil only to enable me to study Valluvar's Thirukkural in the language it was written. Such influence does not arise from abstraction, it comes from moral clarity that can be practiced in the real world. Why does Kural withstand time when so many moral treatises erode? Perhaps because Valluvar bridges the ideal and the real with remarkable honesty. He establishes ideals, tests their sustainability, and where life demands adjustment, he allows that space. Not as compromise born of weakness, but as wisdom born of insight. His advice is never absolute to the point of cruelty. In the chapter on listening, Kelvi, he does not command relentless discipline. Instead, he gently lowers the bar without lowering the value. Listen to good things even if you can devote only a little time. Even that much will bring great dignity, he says in Kural 416. Similarly, on virtues, he avoids perfectionism. Do the righteous things as much as possible as you traverse through life. That's what he says in Kural 33. These are not rules meant to police behavior. They are invitations to grow within one's limits. Perhaps the most striking expression of Valluvar's realism appears in Kural 140. He writes, Ulagaththodu Otta Ozhugal Palakatrum Kallaar Arivilaa. Who know not to dwell with the world in harmony is not wise, however much he is learned. How often have we wondered why certain intellectuals, armed with information and learning, behave harshly with everyone around them? Their own families struggle with them. Colleagues, neighbors and friends keep their distance. They remain perpetually at war with the world. This couplet offers a quiet answer. Wisdom, Valluvar suggests, is not merely correctness of thought but harmony of conduct. It cautions against constant correction, unsolicited advice and moral arrogance. It urges balance over battle, understanding over assertion. It reminds us that knowing how to live among contradiction matters more than winning arguments about truth. That is why the Thirukkural has not perished. It breathes. It bends without breaking. It teaches without condemning. And 2000 years later, it still speaks not loudly but wisely to a world that urgently needs morality it can actually live by.